Welcome back to the Alienware Cup Grand Finals, where NAVI, as we all now know, because we're all watching.
Yeah.
We're very tired. That's already don't make much sense. A 1-0 up. I'm going to ask you guys before we get into game 2. I've said we're ready in the studio. Sorry, Kawa. But I want to ask MVP for the game. Mine's going to be Kurokai.
Yeah, Kurokai.
So, he went 7-0-9.
A honorable mention to Havas, which farmed really well.
I don't know what to call him now because you guys call him
Kuroki.
Kuroki.
I think we're wrong. I'm not sure.
I think it's Kurokai.
Yeah, because I've met him a few times and I'm like, what do I call you? And I think I remember getting Kurokai.
Well, you've talked to him.
But the thing is, he doesn't mind. He's like, anyone's good.
Yeah.
He's like,
he's not
Kurok.
His name is Kuro. Like his real name.
Kuronity.
Is Kuro.
Yeah.
So people call him Kuro normally.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah. All right then. So MVP for game number 1, guys.
Funnick and Kuroki or Kurokai were very close, but I think those vacuums were filthy.
The initiation was sick from Kuroki. Definitely made a flashier play, but for me, Funnick with the kind of overall.
Darkseer's, I think Darkseer's the slightly trickier hero to play because you have to make sure that vacuum hits. If you steal a spell, it doesn't have that long of a cooldown. You just throw spells out here and there. Not that Rubik's easy, but for me, the vacuum is the big thing you really have to hit.
How many times have a Darkseer ran in and then got stunned and died, and you're like, what is Darkseer doing? Right?
Yeah, we've had quite a few moments where we're like, what are you doing?
And Darkseer played well.
He also vacuumed 2 heroes on a cliff. My goodness.
Ellie had no idea what was going on.
What? I wasn't looking that way.
Huh?
Huh?
Well, we're going into game number 2.
Yeah.
You
Game
know,
number 2, guys.
Game 2 starting.
It's like
Pay attention.
game number
be
1.
serious.
But
You asked us a fucking question. Fuck you, James. All right, let's do it. We're inside of game 2 now. It's NAVI versus LGD Gaming. Best of 5. NAVI leading the set 1-0. They've traveled a long way to come to China. They're here to train, to prepare for the International 3, and also to take all the Chinese money they can. Well, the Alienware Cup, LGD, they're the last bastion of hope for the Chinese fans out there. Can they bounce back?
Well, we'll see. LGD, when they need to bounce back, they need to ban Alchemist now because when Navi picks, when they have the first pick, they always, no matter what, select the Alchemist. And if they don't have first pick, which they didn't have last game, they ban out the Alchemist. So let's see what if LGD has been paying attention to that. Of course, if they do ban out the Alchemist, Navi will most likely pick Bat Rider. I'm not sure which one you want to give away.
They'll pick Bat Rider. They could get a snap up something like a Darkseer, and then whatever they want is that they want a jungler or a Rubik early, they could take it there. We'll see what they go for, but I don't think Darkseer for Bat is necessarily that bad. It's more a question of what do you prefer as far as style goes.
Or you could ban something dumb, or like something not as high priority, like a Chen, and then say, hey, you can have Alchemist. We're going to get Bat. We're going to get Darkseer. And equivalent.
Okay, if they give away Alk, they cannot. Every time an Alk gets free farm in the safe lane, they lose. Like,
it's Xiaowei Bat, though.
Like, whoever gives away uncontested free farm to Alk, I would say like 80 to 90% of those games, we have seen the team that gives away the farm to Alk loses.
It's Xiaowei Bat, though. Does that equivalent things somewhere?
He has to hit on those first ganks. If they want to give away safe lane farm to an Alk, they have to connect on those ganks. They have to take early engagements to take towers. They've let the Alk through.
Yeah,
I don't know if Navi will first pick it, though.
They are very much so on the first pick.
They might.
Alk plan. But they also never really had to make the decision between Alk, Bat, and Darkseer. And knowing that they will give away 2 back is kind of a big deal. So I think in terms of this draft, LG says, here's your move. And no matter what move you make, we're going to take it back. So, yeah, I like the draft coming out.
I'm just reading the chat from 2 minutes ago. I still have no idea what happened, but I look over, we're suddenly in the draft, and the intro is me telling James to go fuck himself.
Well, it's going to be a Bat Rider first pick here by Navi and Darkseer and Alchemist from LGD. So, all things going according to plan here for the Chinese team.
Alchemist LGD, a Darkseer for them. I actually like this for LGD a lot.
Here's the thing. When Alchemist is played on Chinese teams, sometimes they throw it mid. And I don't like that.
I don't think LGD China will do that. Generally, I believe it's been Sylar taking mid. That's something that DK has done for Super, that IG has done, I think, once or twice for 430, and Tong Fu very rarely does it for Mu. I think LGD China more likely to see this in the safe lane as a farmer.
Okay, we'll have to see.
But we'll have to see.
Xiaowei definitely does play Darkseer solo mid. Of course, Yao could play in the solo top position as well. We'll see how that particularly goes. Navi right now might be looking to secure their jungle and whatnot. I haven't seen Dendi play Bat too much. I haven't seen Dendi play kind of these top tier band hero too much, but I'm sure he could play that hero quite well. Have you seen it before?
Have I seen who's?
Bat. Dendi.
I haven't seen Dendi Bat. It's normally something Funnick will take to the offlane or to the jungle, I believe, but we'll have to see. The thing is right now, LGD, only the Darkseer will really match up well against Bat. That's another reason that you'd be reluctant to put Alk mid is Alk can just get completely stomped by a bat mid. He'll have to sit very far back. Sure, you pump acid spray, but bat can easily deny all those creeps. You end up just getting really underfarmed. So I think either a Darkseer mid or even could just be a jungle Darkseer and LGD. You're running a safe lane Alk, you can abandon the off lane. You get so much out of the Darkseer jungle anyway. I think LGD China should just look to defensive trialing the Alk, jungle the Darkseer, or put a mid and abandon the off lane.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that as well. So Navi looking for their second pickup. They have a ton of option here. They're going to go with Bane Elemental, so this is definitely Kuroki's hero. Haven't seen Puppy play it too much when they both draft supports. That's going to be a good way to at least slow down or stop the Alchemist. Not too sure whether it's a foolproof array. You cannot really rely on Nefibo, but it's definitely, I guess, a stopgap at least for the early game down.
It's kind of like how we saw teams would pick Bane versus Alchemist or versus Lone Druid, where Alchemist is the new siege unit of carries. Like, he just goes on your tower with an Assault Cars, pops the Chemical Rage, and the tower HP just melts. So I think Enfeeble versus Alk is actually a fantastic choice. Also, he's a melee carry, so Fiend's Gripium isn't that hard. Darkseer in particular could be tough to get the initiation. You try and jump in and drop your vacuum. There's a lasso, there's a flame break, and most importantly, there's sleep and grip. So it will be very tough for this Darkseer in the team fights if Navi play it correctly to actually get a good initiation.
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard to defend against a good initiation as well. If Navi is pushing with the Bat Rider flying over trees, right now I don't see LGD having heroes to actually slow it down. Acid Spray is pretty good. It's a safe spell that you could lob it at the creep wave very far away, and it'll eat away at the creep wave. They need something else, something that's long range. We saw it last game in the form of things like Rocket, in the form of a Tidebringer or a Torrent. They need something similar to that. I'm not saying they need a Clock or a Kunkka, but something of the same sort to kind of long range siege down the creep waves. Because you don't want to stand close to a Bat Rider.
You could drop Acid Spray, but you need something else. So be it a Windrunner, we saw that banned in the second stage. It is available. I think a Windrunner would be a decent choice. One of the heroes that does pretty well mid versus Bat Rider. You can farm from distance with Power Shot. If he ever goes on you, you can always pop Windrun. They'll need to rotate someone like a Bane if they want to kill him. So that could be an option for them. I'm trying to think. We've obviously seen LGD China many a time has turned towards the Magnus and just angled for ultra late game. In theory, you've got Vacuum, you've got RP, and Empowered Alk, maybe the biggest aspect of it all, just cleaving through everything. But that's a triple melee core against a Bat Rider and a Bane, these reliable disables that can punish melee heroes. So even though LGD might be thinking about Mag, I'm not sure it's really the best choice in this game.
I like Mag here because, like you said, Empower is very good. It gives you early stable lanes. Not exactly the best laner. They do ban out the OD, so maybe they are.
I think they're thinking about something like a Mag.
Yeah. I like Naga Siren quite a bit as well.
They run that as a support. So if they get a Naga, I think we'll see an Alchemist Naga +1 defensive tri-lane, maybe a Lina Twin-Headed Dragon.
One of the best way to deal with Bat is he jumps in, grabs one of the dudes, you sleep. And then the Flaming Lasso is over, you reset, you jump on the Bat because Bat is suicidally initiating on you.
Well, they won't take the Naga here, maybe thinking they can snap it up with a later pick. Navi did ban Naga, or was it? It was actually LGD. So what was it, Navi?
Somebody banned.
One of them banned it in the last game. So these teams are aware that Naga is a hero to be thinking about. I don't think Navi will go for it now. They could if they really wanted to control this Alk, but they can wait on their carry, since almost certainly it's going to be a farming Alk for Sylar. So Navi, not really forced to pick a carry now. I think we'll see another solo come off the board. No, they'll get the Gyro.
Gyro here is a hero that Havos likes quite a bit. It really synergizes with how Navi likes to play, which is early game aggression. If it goes late enough, the game gets drawn out. It's still a very powerful late game hero. Yeah, fairly safe and good pick here from Navi.
LGD don't have any way to deal with a BKB right now, aside from Alchemist just coming in and trying to bash the Gyro. But there's Grip, there's Lasso. If it's a one-position Alchemist, they need some really strong lockdown beyond a Jakiro and a Darkseer from these supports. So be it a Magnus, be it, I would say a Shadow Demon, he's actually banned. Maybe even a Rubik that can steal Fiend's Grip, that can steal Lasso. Rubik actually would be a decent choice if they won. But they need something more to set up the Alchemist for success, because no matter how big this Alk gets, there's a Grip, there's a Lasso, and you have to fight through the cooldown slow. Well, they'll go for a Nyx Assassin, but I'm not sure if Sylar can actually get into the fights if Navi play it correctly.
Well, I mean, the Grip could easily get stunned up by Vacuum or Ice Path, or now even the Nyx Assassin. They have pretty decent long-range spells. I think the Nyx Assassin is mostly actually to deal with the Bat Rider. He jumps in, he activates his Firefly, he grabs, you walk in a spike. And that's a way to reliably stun him no matter where the Bat is. So it's okay as a pickup. I personally would favor Naga or some sort of another long range, or a hero that gives you more utility in team fight. Meanwhile, Navi's going to actually get Lina, so I'm not sure who plays what now, because both...
This could maybe even be an aggressive tri-lane from Navi, and I think they can get away with it, because they have 3 range tiers if they want to run the Gyro tri-lane, and LGD have a Nyx and an Alk. Sure, there's a decent amount of AoE. It's a decent tri-lane with levels, but at level 1 to 3, that tri-lane's pretty underwhelming.
Yeah, and of course, if you actually initiate with Nightmare into LSA, let the Gyrocopter walk up to set up that rocket barrage, that's a ton of damage output. So.
Even a safe lane gyro does well against Darkseer, as I mentioned before, and they could get a Windrunner for Funnick, tri-lane Windrunner, Lina Bane. That's really going to make life hard for this Nyx Alchemist.
No, they're actually banning out the Magnus himself here, Darkseer, or LGD China, so.
Yeah, that could be an option. I guess that's sort of the question is, I mentioned it could be a Funnick Windrunner, but that would put Dendy on the bat. And is Bat really a hero that Dendy would play? I have personally never seen him play Bat.
I haven't seen it either. But actually, I think I've seen it once, and his Flame Break, I remember, was really good. But you expect... This is definitely a very Dendy-esque hero, right?
Okay, well, Lumi, you were right. You said possibly solo mid-Alk. I guess it could be a mid-Darkseer and a tri-lane Alk, but probably a solo mid-Alk, off-lane Darkseer, defensive tri-lane Spectre. Late game secured for LGD. That's for damn sure, but... They've got to get there.
This is the strategy where LG pioneered like 2 months ago, where they're winning a ton of games off of, which is, as we see, oh my goodness.
Funnick Clinks. Oh yeah, we've kept it on the cards. People have said, get that off there. He doesn't play Clinks anymore. Boom. There's your Clinks.
He does, once in a blue moon.
Once in a blue moon.
Yeah.
And so now this puts a Dendy mid-bat, a safe lane Clinks, and the aggressive tri-lane, Gyro, Lina, as well as the Bane. I like these lanes from Navi.
Yeah, I really do as well. I mean, the matchup of... Well, they're going to get a 1v1 matchup, I think.
Yeah, the Clinks versus Darkseer, but that's a matchup Funnick has played and won quite a few times in the past. He should be more experienced with this matchup than Yao.
Yeah.
Not many Asian teams run a safe lane Clinks.
And Darkseer is actually surprisingly weak against the kind of the harassment that Yao or the Clinks could put out. Well, let's actually introduce the team here. LG China down 1 game in this best of 5 series. Yao is going to be playing Darkseer on the offlane. He's going to be playing against the Bone Clinks on the other side. Meanwhile, on the mid, it's going to be Xiao H, solo mid Alchemist. It's going to be utility build. We're going to see things like Mech Vlads, tank up with BKB and things of that sort. Sylar on the bot lane is going to handle the Spectre, DDC on the support Nyx Assassin, and of course DD on Jakiro.
And on the Dire side, it's Navi leading 1-0 in this best of 5. We've got Havost handling the Gyro, Kuroki, or Kurakai, as they're calling him now, on the Lina. Puppy handling the Bane. Taking up the reins of the Bat Rider will be Dendymon, and the safe lane will be Funnick on his signature Clinks. Very excited to see a Funnick Clinks this game, and I will definitely give him the edge. I think him and Yao are pretty similarly skilled players, but Funnick's got a lot more experience with this matchup. He's played both sides of it, so I give him the edge here. And if he has a good start, a mid-game Orchid is just going to ruin LGD. Darkseer can't initiate. A Nyx Assassin won't be able to do anything. Even Spectre, that additional soul burn damage adds up quickly, and he won't seem nearly as tanky. So look to Funnick to really control this game for Navi.
Don't forget the fact that a Orchid will just make Alchemist useless without BKB. Anytime he charges up a stun, he's stunning himself. So, and with the Orchid damage on top of that, it's
yeah, maybe he can get off a mech, but that's it.
Yeah, so, well, Navi is going to go in the jungle, already warding it up. You don't want them to tunnel through. You don't want them to pull. So, a lot of dedication in this early jungle. In fact, when you're playing offensive tri-lane, why not? Don't let them pull and try to actually kill them and harass them. Havost with the invisibility rune might actually get a kill. He's rocketing away at DDC. That's going to burn a couple of tangles.
Suck on that, DDC, Havost says. And he won't kill him, but that's some early regen forced out. Only 3 tangos for your Nyx. They pulled Sylar just a touch. Going to be a very hard lane for Sylar. If Puppy wants to, he can take an early point in Feeble. He's not skilling it yet because I think he'd rather try and go for a first blood. Save for the sleep. If you can catch someone out, sleep into the Light Strike Ray, into the Barrage. It's the more aggressive build. The safer build would just be an early point in Feeble and completely shut down the Spectre's farm. But truth be told, I don't know if Sylar can approach the creep wave anyway. If he does, he's got to be worried about getting first blooded. Yeah. This is not looking good for LGD in the tri-lane. They're going to lose this lane for sure, unless Navi just tower dives. 3 ranged heroes, way more nuke damage, double melee tri-lane for LGD, weak level 1 supports in the Nyx, not a strong hero early on in the Spectre. This lane shouldn't go their way unless Navi get caught out of position. So then the question is, can LGD win these solo matchups? Bat versus Alch mid, a matchup you'd expect Denny to have the edge in, although so far it's pretty even. And then the safe lane, the Funnick Clinks versus the Darkseer Yao. What do you think about that matchup?
I mean, actually, Darkseer, the fact that he's creep skipping is actually not bad. The way that Funnick, you see, he's actually struggling under tower to get a little bit of last hit. So I think this is a very smart way for Yao to play this lane. A lot of people try to challenge Clinks like, oh, he's a very squishy hero. Let me just walk up to him. That's how you lose the lane.
You say he's struggling, but he is 12-0, so maybe take a bit of damage, but not missing any last hits.
Yao's 16-0, so he hasn't missed a single thing.
He's one wave ahead.
Yeah, so
Funnick hasn't seen the creep yet, so it's actually dead even so far.
Oh, wow. So Clinks is As you expect, not missing any last hit because he's got a ton of plus damage, and of course, last thing on the tower isn't, well, we jinxed him, he just missed one.
It's a bit hard at level 1, but it gets easier as you level up. And they're trading a carries farm for a Darkseer, so you got to give Navi a slight edge there. I think all 3 lanes look really good for them. They have the 3 lead farmers outside of that Darkseer. The next 3 are all Navi heroes, so far so good for Navi. LGD, their lineup can win from behind because they have a Spectre, they've got a lot of AoE, their team fight presence is very strong, but with these lanes, there's just no way they're going to win the laning stage. Not unless Navi really screw up.
Well, I mean, if you look at the mid lane here, Bat at 9-4 and Alchemist on 9-1, he's actually doing a fairly good job of keeping up. There's really no dive attempt here. 777 HP on Alchemist and 10 sticks. Oh, well, he just used it now, but he's getting more mana back. It's hard for Dendy to actually dive as he's getting outlaned by Acid Spray. It's hard to actually zone him out when you don't have as much HP regen. Here comes a little bit of bottle curling.
Yeah, the bottle he was lacking, now it's online. Xiao with the early magic stick is going to do better than you would normally expect. But still, Batrider, well, he can get a Blink Dagger and just turn the tides of the game. And Alchemid, at best he gets a mech and helps his team stay alive. Maybe goes for an early BKB, but that's not an item that comes online super fast. So I still think Dendy has the bigger potential to impact this game. The Alchemid, sure, he's farming, but what is he going to farm? He can't go for the carry build because they need him to be able to get them through the mid game to when Sylar gets big.
Well, I mean, is he actually getting the mech? Because you expect your Darkseer to get the mech.
Yeah, that's well, even if he goes for BKB.
I think he's going Shadowblade.
Maybe. It's still a lot more to farm than a Blink Dagger.
Yeah, it definitely is. I give you that. But Xiao definitely is getting that farm. We'll see what he actually turns it into. No points into Grievo's Greed just yet, despite being in a very, very passive game. Sylar is getting to the creep wave a little bit, though not getting too much CS to show of it. Only 18 so far compared to Gyrocopter's 19.
He's farming 8-1 at this point is good for Sylar because it's a triple ranged lineup, and he's going to be worried about getting burst down.
Yeah, with no pulls at all. DD's coming around, sees Puppey. Your double damage gets selected. Uh-oh. And now Spike's going to get used. Puppey's going to get a ton of right clicks off here, and if there's any rotation, no rotation just yet. DDC tankling through, and the right clicks, oh my god, they're burning away its health. Nightmare's going to go forward.
Could be our first blood. In comes Kuroki. They've got to remove this sleep. They've done it, but I think it's too late. First blood to Navi. Captain Puppey leads the way.
Oh, the 4 Havos takes a Nightmare. That was a little bit of a mistake.
Well, they don't get the second kill. Kuroki missed on the stun there anyway, but in any case, Navi get first blood. It's sort of what you expect in this tri-lane, a bit of a lucky rune there, but even if they don't get the first blood, they're going to win the farming war anyway. The good news is Yao's doing okay top, but still overall, I think Navi getting more out of these lanes.
Actually, Yao's kind of dominating Funnick now. He's gone back to the lane with the level 3 Iron Shell, double Iron Shell H in every wave, and Funnick unable to keep up.
He just has to hit level 6. Once you get level 6, you can go eat a neutral creep. There's no way Darkseer dives you against that. So it looks a bit bad for Funnick, but just needs that level 6. He's got it now. And now, as soon as he has Death Pact mana, this lane gets much easier for him.
Funnick going back into the secret shop, picks up even more Sage's Mask. Of course, we'll see how he lasts it and whatnot. Looks like Smoke of the Sea gets purchased here by Dendy. This is one of the signature trait of Dendy when he goes solo mid. Loves to get those early smoke, roam up and down the river, and very reminiscent of his kind of pudge play. And we'll see whether he's going to find some kills here on those solo smoke ganks.
Yeah, I don't know that Dendy will get any kills mid, because Alex has Chemical Rage, not the easiest target, but it's more, can he go and roam to the other lanes? Can he gank that safe lane? Clinks puts out a lot of damage. If you lasso Yao, looking at half HP right now, very hard to bring down, or very easy to bring down, I should say. Or the tri-lane. These heroes vulnerable to those early ganks. DDC only level 2. Sure, he's got Carapace, it's not a long stun. So I think Dendy, unlikely to find a kill mid on his own, but as I say that, Puppey's rotated in. They might be looking to make a go and slow down this out.
Xiao drops an acid spray. That's going to deter any kind of big engaged long-term team fight under the tower.
Yeah, running down the river. Maybe they can punish this, but they've actually gone in mid. They've slept Xiao. Now they pull him back into the flames. He's still alive, however, not really taking enough damage. Only 5 stacks. Is it enough? Flame breaks there. Too much tank, too much beef. I would have rather seen a gank on the safe lane Darkseer or on the tri-lane, or the off-lane Darkseer, the tri-lane, because that's just a very hard kill.
That was also a very, very late flame break. I mean, he flame break when he was outside of flame. He went back on the bot lane because of the rotation of Puppey. LGD China just went for it with Impale, Dagger, Ice Path, and they got one on Gyrocopter, so suddenly the lane's going quite okay here for LGD China.
Yeah, great recognition from LGD. They saw Navi had rotated Puppey off the lane, so as soon as Puppey shows his face mid and goes for that kill, LGD, they had 3 heroes bottom, they jump in, they kill off a Vost. The movements for LGD actually going a bit better this game, certainly better than game 1. Yao farming towards the mech, he's got all the basics up, he'll start to work on it now. Overall though, Funnick keeping up in terms of CS, actually leading in terms of net worth slightly, and some of these creeps for Yao have been jungle creeps, not worth quite as much. Funnick, early Orchid is in the offlane, and I'm a little bit worried about what he can do if you're an LGD fan, it's going to be a concern.
And meanwhile, we do see a huge ancient stack being dumped up on the top right side of the map here, and that's going to allow Havos to slowly catch up. He's not getting the best farm right now, but eventually he will once he get a little bit more damage on the gyrocopter. Meanwhile, Yao on the top lane starting to get zoned out. The levels on Funnick is really starting to take a toll as they now do 40 extra damage on each steering arrows. 50 extra damage.
Yeah, this is where the Darkseer gets somewhat zoned out of the lane. You just want to Ion Shell the creep, stay back, try and farm your mech as quickly as possible. We'll have to see what LGD do once Sylar hits 6, because once he hits 6, if he wants to haunt and join the Darkseer in his lane, they pick up Dust on Yao perhaps, they could dive this Clinks and potentially kill him. Ion Shell Spectre is no joke, does a lot of damage, but they could also go mid for the time being. LGD, they're still losing out in terms of farm. It looks like all 3 of Navi's cores are farming well.
Here comes Dendy. Invis ruined up, looking to actually initiate on somebody. This has got to be a free kill on DDC or DD. Maybe you go on DDC instead. Yeah, they do actually go on DDC. Double Dragon Sling, double SA, easy double kill from Gyrocopter. Well, they got a solo one on him earlier, but now he gets himself back.
Perfect. Havos goes down earlier for Navi, but great movement from Dendy. A fortunate Invis rune, and the execution was there. I don't know if LGD saw him get that rune. I believe it spawned top, so they didn't know Dendy was coming with that. And now an illusion rune picked up by Xiao8, but the damage already done. And this is what I was talking about mid lane. Is even if Xiao8 farms, the Batrider has a much higher kill potential than the Alk, and we're seeing it now.
Yeah, definitely. Xiao8 is going to be... what exactly is he going for? He's got all the basic, the wand upgrade. He's going to be going for phase to be very standard transition to more of a mid-game item. Here comes the rotation on Puppey up top. The right-click arrows. Here comes the Nightmare. And that's going to allow him to get into position. But teleportation kills as well. Ice Path's going to hit. Vacuum back for Funnick in big trouble. Do they have detection? That's the question right now. They're going on top of Funnick. And Funnick's going to eat a stun to the face. Central on the ground. And kill secure here by LG China. I love the rotation. The dedication to even teleport the 1 and 2 row player in. Just to make sure that nobody dies. And they even deward this. Do they have gem? I don't think that's in tower range.
Oh, it must be. It must be just in tower vision range.
Oh, but you just never see it.
Yeah.
Like normally.
Yeah, you had to have your heroes right near it. I think the unfortunate thing for LGD there, though, is they rotate 4 top. They should have had 2, but Sylar, actually his dagger missed. His Spectral Dagger didn't hit Puppey. If he had it, it would have been enough to kill Puppey, almost certainly. Still, they do get the 1 kill. They slow down Funnick, which is important. Yet Funnick, 58 CS, still the leader in terms of net worth. Slowed down a bit, but not a lot. It's going to be a fast Orchid for him, unless LGD continue to put pressure on this lane. And with Haunt cooling down, with only an Alchemid, not the best ganker, it looks like Funnick is going to have a fast Orchid. So LGD, they'll have to go for trades here. They'll want to be playing defensively in the mid game. Even if they get an Orchid on Funnick, even if they get the Blink on Denny, which are coming very soon, make no mistake about it, both should be online by the 14-15 minute mark at the latest. The Blink Dagger even sooner than that. If LGD don't get caught, Navi don't really have the strongest 5-man lineup. They're quite reliant on finding pickoffs with the Orchid, with the Batrider last. So if LGD can just sit back, they've got more AoE, they should be able to defend their towers, and I think later on they'll have the edge in these team fights. But it comes down to those early movements from Navi, and Blink Bat, it's a lot easier said than done.
They want Sylar on the bot lane right now. He gets clipped by 1, but Invis Out gets coming right in. He wants Havos, or does he? Yes, they do go on Havos. Where's the right click? No damage just yet. Dual Breath on top. Havos down to about a quarter HP. Here comes Bat Lasso, focusing on Xiao8. Despite the Alchemist Rage, he is going to go down regardless. Just no damage output from LGD. They're now going on to DD. There's a Mana Burn, and that should be it. LSA not really being followed. They want to make that turn. Dagger comes in, Puppey down the quarter. Great chainslide coming out from LGD. They are going to get that second kill. Still chasing for a little bit more. Sylar does have to face N10-1 on the Magic Stick. About 5 seconds until the Dagger comes down, and they do disengage. Not too sure who exactly came out ahead. Gyrocopter, he survived, right? He TP'd back home.
Yeah, we're going to go in again. Dendy and Yao duking it out in the river. Now the Dagger comes through. Sylar giving chase. Wants to kill off Dendy. If he dies now, he's 8 gold from his Blink. The Carapace brings him low. Dendy can't get his Blink. Oh, that hurts. That really hurts. And now the Laguna Blade. Kuroki says, I'll get some revenge for you, Dendy. But the problem is, he's probably giving up a kill to Sylar here. Yes, he is. That's not a good trade. The biggest loss there, of course, not getting the Blink. 4 or 5 gold away from it. They were farming Funnick during that time, but that's a few too many kills onto the Spectre. A lot of experience headed his way. Phase up and getting close to the drums.
Yeah, very nicely played here by LG China. Again, the rotation came in. We saw it from Alchemist. We saw just about everybody else. Yao even slowly made out there. The high ground to low ground impel that set up the Lina kill. Very nicely played. Top lane's going to drop a stun on Finn. Funnick just harassing him a little bit. Funnick not only winning the lane, also pressuring the tier 1 tower with the searing arrows, down to about half HP. And here comes a rotation. If they get a kill on Alchemist up top and that tier 1 tower, Navi will propel themselves in a bigger lead.
You know, normally most Batrider players this close to a Blink Dagger would tuck into the jungle for 2 minutes, farm a stacked big camp, and they'd have their Blink. But this is Dendi, a very aggressive solo mid, and you just see his style, which is he smokes up, he wants to go for a kill, he sees he can't really find one, so he'll back off to the jungle. He'll still have the Blink pretty soon, but he wasted that Firefly that could have been used to farm the camp, so trying to be aggressive. LGD, this is where they're strongest, just sitting back, farming, and playing defensively. And I want to talk about that fight bottom, because to me the biggest thing is LGD, they didn't have a very well-executed fight there at all. Xiao 8 stun only hit 1. They couldn't kill Havosti. He got away with like 10 HP. It looked really good for Navi. But the thing is, LGD has so much more AoE, so many more stuns, and just general teamfight lockdown that even if they don't have the perfect teamfight, they can still come out on top. And that's what we saw on bottom.
Yep, and now Mech gets picked up here on the Darkseer. Not your quickest Mech ever, but...
Oh, and that was the other thing. They didn't have Darkseer there. Yao had no TP. He ran all the way bottom. If he was there, that's a very bad fight.
If he was there in the beginning. He showed up to the party a little bit late, was there with the Iron Shell and Vacuum towards the end to kill Dendi. But yeah, I mean, whenever a teamfight breaks out, there's a Darkseer mech, you don't win that teamfight. We say that though. Dendi Bat has now a Blink Dagger, and let's see how aggressive he plays. He was playing so aggressive before. Let's see what he could do for us now.
It's not a bad timing for the Blink 13 minutes in. He got a bottle, he got a magic stick, a magic wand rather, but it's not the fastest either. And now it's just where LGD, you'll just want some lane wards up. Dendi's been using a lot of smokes. Actually, I think it's worth checking how many smokes do they have left. He's used at least 2. There's 1 smoke of Deceit available, none actually purchased. So they only have that 1 smoke, which means the wards really matter now. Smokes won't be that much of a tool for Navi over the next few minutes to set up kills. If LGD are on their game, which they are right now, observer ward bottom, would even like to see 1 up the hill here, and then possibly 1 in the top lane or even behind the tower to spot the rotations. If they're on their A game, I think this favors them. This pace, their lineup.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you say, hey, I got Blink, I got my Skeleton Walk, I'm not as reliant on the smoke, which is true, but still, you don't want to walk past a smoke path and then try to make a gang and then waste a ton of your time.
It's a bit hard for Funnick to find solo kills simply because LGD have great counter-initiate. Haunt, Darkseer, TPing in, and Surgy Wade meching you on the way out. If Funnick finds someone way off in the jungle, sure, he can solo kill them, but I think he needs the +1, and that's where the wards come into play.
Yeah.
And he will have his Orchid now. So 14-minute Orchid, one of the faster Orchid timings you'll see, 105 CS. Make no mistake about it, Funnick is playing really well on this Quakes. It's a fast Orchid. It's 1.5 minutes faster than average, but considering he died, it's a really good time.
He also got a Ring of Aquila on top of that, so it's not exactly a naked rush. So
yeah, he had the Tranquil Boots for a while, and now he's got the Ring of Aquila you mentioned. He's in good shape.
Yeah, he's actually. This is probably one of the fastest Kling's farm on Orchid I've seen. So.
But now this is the window, right? They have Blinko Bat, they've got the Orchid. Navi want to find kills. They don't want to sit back and farm.
Well, they're not really finding too many kills. First of all, you see the Darkseer Iron Shell as well as the Alchemist Acid Spray. They're very good at actually pushing the creep equilibrium, so it's hard to actually get away from the lane and start ganking as a Bat and as a Klings, because if you do that, you lose your tier 1 tower, and it's just not as safe of a play. It's too risky to go for that gank and lose your tower as a result.
I just took a look at the vision for LGD, and I mentioned how important it is. They see pretty much everything in all 3 lanes up to the enemy tower. The mid lane, not right now. It is daytime, and Navi, well, they'll sit back and farm. If they want to farm, there are more useful items that could help them. The Force Staff on the Bat, maybe something like a Blink Dagger much later on for Puppy, but mainly the BKB on Havos. Those are the 2 big items, the Force Staff, the BKB. But beyond that, I just don't see farming for Navi making a whole lot of sense. Clinks, a lot of his damage comes from magic damage, the Soul Burn, as well as the Searing Arrows. That's not going to help you against a BKB Alk. It's not going to necessarily help you too much against a naturally tanky carry like Spectre. I think the more they farm after, say, 5-10 minutes, the more it favors LGD, and Navi just sitting back for the time being.
I mean, I don't think actually Navi wants to farm, but look at the position of LG China players. You have Darkseer right here, you have Xiao 8 right here, and the rest of the team is into the jungle. Nobody's actually shown on the map right now. This is what I mean by Iron Shelling your creep that's walking into the wave, walking into the mid lane, dropping an Acid Spray, and then immediately backing off. They know that Klings, and they know that Batrider are so dangerous, and they're going to come and gank you. Just not show yourself. Make them come into your jungle. And it's a big risk for Navi. Not only are they losing creep equilibrium on the mid lane, it could be just a misgank. They could be waiting for you. And Navi just said, man, we really can't get these ganks off, so let's just farm.
They're getting more off the map than they did, like they did in Game 1. They do lead by 5k gold, 4k experience, but this time LGD has Spectre. They've got Alchemist. They've got Darkseer. They definitely have a much stronger team fight lineup, and they also have only lost one tower. 17 minutes in. I think by this point, Navi was starting to take those second and third towers of the game. They're not doing it now. They're not as good of a tower pushing lineup. Well, maybe Clinks is, but they don't have the Dragonite. They don't have that huge tank in the front line. So I think even though LGD is similarly behind, the nature of their lineup just makes it's okay for them to be behind at this point. It's not great, it's not ideal, but it's definitely okay.
And for Navi's side, leading as a bat and leading as a Clinks is not really impressive.
This could be the fight. Xiao, I'm surprised he stuck around. He went back in to hit the tower. They do want to fight. Yao's got the mech. Can he get a range to use it? He backs 3 into an ice pad. Oh, that's so bad for Navi. They lose 2 off the bat. Buyback from Kuroki. That was a sick wombo combo, and now Havost on the run, heading up the hill. He will live. In comes Funnick, though. He's found 1. Can he turn this fight around? He's going to find 2. DDC to fall. Still plinking away. The turnaround comes. It looked like LGD were going to get away with something there, taking what looked to be an awful team fight. But in the end, they'll end up losing quite a few heroes. Was it 3 for 2, I believe?
It was 3 for 3. I think.
And a buyback from Navi.
I think Navi bought back with 2 players here. Good, really good adjustment by Navi. They backed off immediately after the buyback. LGD kept chasing after the buyback, and that's why they lost a couple more heroes.
It was actually a 1-for-1 trade there. So in terms of buyback, so the Nyx bought back as well as the Lina. So 2 supports buying back, pretty even there. Big thing, though, is Funnick found a bunch of kills, and now he's going to start just working on the tower bottom. He's got backup in tow. He does get stunned under the tower. Now the outstun comes through, but Funnick has backup on the way. Can he get out in time? He can. Now Puppy comes in. There's your Soul Burn as well as your Sleep. Not really the best combination, but in comes the call down. Navi trying to fight as 5. They want the Chaos. Vacuum into an Ice Path. Now the Macro Pyre. No, not available, actually. Just a Dual Breath on a headlong retreat as Navi. They've overextended it. First it was LGD's turn. Now it's Navi's. Dendi driven back. He should be able to escape, but they lose 3. They lose their gyro there. That's the big one.
Yeah, Havost misses call down and hit clean air for the first one, and Nixus hasn't walked into it, died to the second one. It's okay. LG China pretty happy with that engagement. They're always there in these engagements. And Spectre with that drums, just doing a ton of work. He's also sitting at 1800 gold without picking up a Blade of Alacrity at all. So we all know where this one's going to.
Sylar likes Radiance.
Yeah,
he really likes to go Radiance.
I like Sylar when he likes Radiance because I really think it's a good late game option.
You're just like farming, Lumi.
Yeah.
You're Chinese. It's okay. We know you have a problem. It's not your fault.
Man,
it's in the blood.
I resent that. But
what was your comment? Thousands of years of farming experience.
They have it.
You can't beat the Chinese at their own game. Well, at least that's what Sylar thinks. Now, Xiao will get caught. He was slept under tower. Now Blink Lasso back in. He is in ult form. BKB from Avos. There's your call down. Could be a fantastic fight for them. Sylar giving chase. He is on the run. He used his haunt for this. Did not find a kill. The first usage of the BKB called a success. They bring down an important hero. And here comes Funnick on the hunt. He's got a Mithril Hammer up, looking for a BKB later on. He actually will run right by DDC, stops Data Creep, now turns around, silences him, chips away in a hurry. Dendi blinking forward. The mech keeps him up in fighting shape, although he does want to get out of here. Funnick continues to just drive all of LGD back. They need to be grouped up to fight. They are much weaker when they're spread out like this, and unfortunately, I don't know if DD's going to live. Dendi blinking forward, Flame Break cooling down, just out of vision, just out of range, runs back. The Flame Break almost catches him. They got to kill this missile. Ice Path won't stop that missile. They need to kill it. Oh, it's only level 1, actually, so... it looked, if that was a Purge missile, if he leveled it up, would have been a kill.
Yeah, well,
just saying, guys.
Han is down for about 70 seconds here as Tier 1 tower is under siege. They will get the Tier 1 tower for their trouble, but I think if you're LG China, you're happy with how these team fights are going. They're chasing for a long time. They're not getting too much done. Meanwhile, they're getting a couple of scrappy kills here and there. Meanwhile, of course, Xiao going back to farm up top. He is going for a Shadow Blade, and he's going to have it in about 400 gold.
I think the main reason you're happy is Sylar isn't dying. Havost is dying. Havost is 2 deaths. Sure, the Clinks for Funnick hasn't died since the early game, but, well, right as I say that, I might have just jinxed him. DDC is going to get caught out. He'll go down to soul burn damage here. And now Sylar potentially as well.
Shoot.
Funnick on the hunt. He wants to turn 2. Sylar's low, but he is still alive. He'll make it back to base. I almost jinxed him. The curse is still very strong.
I mean, this is why you play this particular hero. You give him the safe lane farm. He's such a menace in team fights.
Really, Dendi? Really, Dendi? Look at Dendi. He's found Yao. He does have a haster, and he's chasing. He's pulling Yao all the way back. Kuroki's there. Light Strike Array completely off the mark. Well, they really would. That was a Hail Mary of a gank, but it doesn't work. They don't need it to. They'll back off.
I mean, Funnick, there's a little bit of miscommunication there. Funnick was there. He was definitely dead, but Funnick was attracted by a creep wave on the bottom. He's now off the hunt again, and now he's looking for what I believe to be a BKB. Once you get the BKB on this guy, he is just sitting in the middle of the team fight, just says, man, come at me, guys. I'm going to just shoot everybody down with my bow.
You know, even though Sylar's not dying, he is spending a lot of time going back to Fountain and joining the team fight. So if he wants to go Radiance here, I don't think he'll have the Relic until 25 minutes. Also, because he's up against the Clinks with an Orchid, he's got to be very nervous about farming the waves. He needs his team behind him if he wants to farm them. So as a result, I don't know if Radiance is going to pan out here. Sure, if he gets it, that will really reinforce their late game, but where does he go to farm? There's a Bat Rider with a Blink. The tier 1's followed bottom. There isn't much safe space on the map, not just for him, but for the whole team. I mean, we talked about how LGD was farming all 3 lanes in their own jungle. That was before they lost the tower bottom. Now, the jungle's not safe.
Alchemist and Dark Circuit still farm thanks to Acid Spray and Iron Shell. Spectre has a little bit of trouble. You say he's sending in front of towers like, hey, I see that creep wave.
Come to me, creeps. Come to me.
And then look at what Navi's doing right now. They're just split farming the entire map. And the threat of having Clinks and the threat of having a Bat, you just can't farm right now. They're both off the map.
This is what happened to LGD in Game 1, where they lost some early towers. They came out slightly behind in a few engagements, but the main thing is they lost the towers and the map control. And then they ended up just not farming, whereas Navi, even though they had some towers down, were just more confident to go and farm. The vision is pretty even for both teams. There's no... I guess Navi's slightly better, but they just have the more elusive heroes, and they're just the more confident team. They'll farm even if there's 4 LGD heroes off the map. Now they group up, but they were on their own for quite some time.
No, it's the way that Navi's farming the hero. Funnick was doing the Ancients, Bat Rider was doing the jungle, both of them off the map. And the fact that LGD sees them off the map, they can't actually do anything. So unless
LGD were off the map, there's a Nyx Assassin, there's a Haunt, there's a Shadowblade Alc. They can definitely be a threat.
They don't gank those.
Right, it's more just Navi are confident they won't get ganked than anything
LGD
else.
is like a dog without bite. It's just like, well, okay.
Well, it's like he's got bite, but he doesn't use it.
Well, sure. And meanwhile,
There's
Navi...
a piece of meat. Eat it, man. Eat it.
Well, they're definitely not
eating
ganking it. Meanwhile, the Roshan is heavily warded up, and looks like they're getting ready to set up shop. Just break the Lincolns, and Klings will go to work, so... We'll see if it's getting ready. He does have a creep in. Here we go. Strafe.
The big thing is they've got double BKB. LGD, not much damage outside. And in comes Shadowblade. He'll get lassoed. That fresh, shiny Shadowblade. He wasn't even Chemical Rage before he went in. Now he'll pop it, but I think the damage is done. BKB from Yao, keeping him alive for the time being. DDC not going to be so lucky. Funnick driving everyone back with those searing arrows. In comes your Batman. Dendy on the hunt. Blinks over. Catches 2. Doing a lot of damage. Ice Path. Macro on 3. That'll discourage the rest of Navi from chasing. Now Dendy's slightly isolated. It will end. They just ran through the macro pyre. They don't even care. Puppy on the hunt. He'll bring down DDC with one more auto attack. Down she goes. And now on the backside it's Yao. Being chased, being brought down. They've lost 4.
What a TP from Sylar.
Barely living, but he had ult. He never used it. If they buy back on like 2 or 3, maybe they... No, they only have Sylar buyback. So that's your Roche down. Xiao 8 going in. Didn't even use Chemical Rage first. Doesn't have a BKB. Just too under farm to charge in like that. I honestly think they should have initiated with something else. You know, be it a Haunt, a Nyx with Carapace up. If Xiao 8 goes in like that and gets caught, then the fight's completely over.
Yeah, maybe he thought he could activate it before the Blink grabbed him, but reaction not where it is, and really lost the team fight because of that. Sylar, thankfully, again, did not die, up to 2,800 gold. I do believe Radiance is still the right item. You said I like farming. The other utility it gives you is the Blink Dagger, or what it prevents Dendy to do in a team fight, where he blinks multiple times, chase you like a madman. But he's very, very far away from that still. 3,000 gold, and of course, where is he going to find this gold? That's a big question that we've been asking him.
Yeah, sure he gets a wave top, but that's because Navi were just roaching. Now if he goes to farm the top lane, he'll be mincemeat. It's going to be tough for him. They've held on to a tier 1 mid, but now that Navi have the Aegis, the BKBs on their 2 cores, they can look to take some aggressive fights. They need these items. This is where Navi needs to be to do this, because their team fight isn't as good otherwise. But with the Blink Dagger, on the Blink Force on the Bat, the double BKB on the cores, LGD just not having the horses basically to stay in this race. So they'll have to sit back, split push, maybe go for some smoke ganks. They don't want to get caught in a 5v5 engagement. The BKBs just ruin them.
Well, they see Funnick teleporting up top. Can they actually make something happen through that BKB? I don't think so. But they are going to go in right now with the stun. Let's see how quick they activate. Ooh, how did they know? Dust is going to come out right now. Impale is going to hit BKB. Still not activated. Where's the stun? It is nothing but chain. LGD finds himself a kill, and I think that's the tier 1 for them.
The Alchemist stun making the difference there, following him as he ran away.
The dog does bite sometimes.
Yeah. Once in a while. The dog just learned to has teeth.
Well, Tier 1 tower is going to be under siege. Glyph already used, no tower denied here, but Sylar trying to make something of it. There is going to be Alchemist teleporting in as well, and now he wants to turn it around. BKB from Yao as well. Stun will hit on Kurokai, and he's basically dead, but no, there's a net wall. It's going to cancel, the vacuum's going to cancel everything. Stuns are coming through, but Puppey as well, then he's on the run, and Xiao 8, he's tanking up his Alchemist Rage, is running out very soon. It's time for LGD to back off.
There's a lasso. Dendy can't blink. Instead of force, he was in the acid spray, but he'll pull in Yao. Yao's isolated. Havos gets done. Sylar chasing Dendy while the rest of the team focuses, but it's a big 2-hero ice path. Sylar pushed onto the low ground. He says, screw that, I'm still chasing you. You can't run from Spectre. Down he'll go. Nice engagement there for LGD, trying to one more ice path. Puppey to get picked off. Oh boy. Navi with the great initiation, but running from Surge, multiple impales, Shadowblade Auk is very tough. They lost their Aegis. They might lose their Havost as well. Buyback from Funnick, or did he just respawn? He respawned, and still they're chasing Funnick right back into the fight. He does have his BKB. He's got a gem picked up right now, but he can't really engage all by his lonesome. Well, I think that's your relic, Lumi. Sylar at 4,400 gold actually got stuck, trapped in the trees.
He's stuck.
This could be trouble. If Dendy says, hey, I want to go farm the neutrals, and fire flies over, he'll be in a world of pain.
Sylar, pop your magic wand, man. Just get out of there.
He doesn't have enough. Even with the magic wand, he still needs a bit more mana here.
Meanwhile, though, we do see Funnick with the double damage. Finds Xiao 8. Oh, Alchemist Rage runs
Shadow
out. He is so
matter.
dead.
There's a gem.
Woo!
Oh, boy.
That's
a very fortunate rune for a very sad Alchemist as well, I must say.
Meanwhile, back to Sylar.
This is trouble, man. He could be farming his Radiance right now.
No. He got the Radiance coming on a Courier.
It's just the relic.
Yeah,
he's actually gonna die here. I think Denny's about to find it. Oh, he's gonna Firefly. Hey guys, I found a Sylar. Let's go
push
kill
him
him.
to the low ground here. Courier's gonna come in as well. He's gonna try to run. Where's the Fiend's Grip? There's gonna be.
Oh my God, that sucks. The TV was just coming in. Delicious Sylar.
Oh, the Courier Funnick just snipes it on the way back.
Nothing on it. At least he got the relic first, but that hurts. Jesus.
Do they lose the tower because of this? Do they go just push territory right now? Because I think with Funnick's damage output they can, but they're not really pressing for it.
They don't have Aegis. Spectre is about to respawn. By the time they get to the tower, there's still a glyph.
They're right there for tier 2.
No, there's no glyph. So, they can threaten the tower. I don't think they really want to force a fight. That's where you get Vacuum, Spectre haunts in, and it turns around in a big way. But they could definitely chip away at this. If they get a good Blat Rider initiation, which they could, Denny having a haste turn right now, well, then maybe they can take it. Navi, Funnick parked on the high ground. And they might look to siege this one out. No big commitment just yet. In comes Funnick now. He'll pop his strafe and continue to work on the tower very quickly. It's dropping fast. In comes Xiao 8. Remember, there's a gem. He's going to stun himself. This might be the go time.
No, he popped this ult. And he has a plate mail on top, too, so he's actually really, really tanky now with the Alchemist Rage there now.
Yeah, I feel he needs a BKB this game, though. A lot of Funnick's damage is magic-based. There's still a Laguna Blade, but there is obviously Fiend's Grip. There's Lasso. It's tough. He needs a lot more items.
Oh, Dendy, really he's looking for that jump right now. Sees Alchemist. Alchemist coming in with the stun. He's going to go right on Havos. Where's the stun? BKB's got to be activated. Just turn it around on Havos. And here comes the Haunt. And where is it going to focus? Dendy just melts. And now where's the Haunt actually go into? Wall gets dropped. No vacuum just yet. Darkseer dies. And now Xiao 8's going to die as well. Sylar on the full retreat. No drums activation. No Radiance. And that's really all the damage output.
Dendy already did his job. Sure, he dies, but he lassoed. He got the initiation off. LGD all clustered, they funneled into this area. Call down comes through, massive AoE damage from Flat Cannon, and Funnick just cleaning up. Honestly, a bit surprised LGD really took that fight, because they didn't have the Spectre Radiance. Now they do, but there's no Haunt. That allows a Navi, if they can just take a tier 2 mid, and I don't think LGD can contest.
Yeah, I think they're over-relying on Alchemist's stun. This is like the second or third time they try to run in and drop a stun off to initiate a team fight. It just doesn't work. Funnick, by the way, sees Spectre mid. Uh-oh, Silence. Dagger's coming in. He does have Dispersion and gives you a little bit more effective HP. We'll tank it through, but Funnick says, all right, I'll just go on tower instead.
Yeah, tier 2 down. Na'Vi are playing this perfectly. Their lineup was all about finding some pickoffs, having chaotic fights, and just securing map control from the Clinks with the early Orchid, from the Dendy Blink Dagger on the bat. And that's exactly what they've done. There's been some moments where the game hasn't been quite as fluid as they would like, a sloppy engagement here or there, but overall, they're getting to play the game plan they want. LGD is the team that wants to sit back, forward protect 1, keep the towers up, fight at the towers as a unit of 5. We've only seen them actually get those 5-man engagements, the proper fights, once or twice, and as a result, it's Na'Vi leading 20-15, 31 minutes in, 20k gold lead, 20k experience lead, a bit less than 20, but close to it. Sure, Spectre's got a Radiance. It's a late Radiance. It was basically a 30-minute Radiance for him, and he still needs 2-3 items before he can carry this game.
I feel like this is one of the closer 20k goal, if you could say that. And now Spectre coming in, but so is Funnick. On the backside, they just need more Sentry Ward, they need more detection. They don't have a gem either. Funnick scouting things out here from the back line. It is nighttime here, so he doesn't see Asvar. But for now, they are holding to that particular tower.
For the time being, Havos working towards his next item. Both cores for Navi are way ahead in terms of gold. And that's what you need against the Spectre. If you have equal farm, he's going to outcarry you. But when you have 2 carries that are 6k gold ahead, yeah, he's got a long way to go to catch up. And even though he's got a Radiance, he's not using it to farm much. He will approach the creeps now. He'll start to last hit, but he's had this Radiance for a good 3 or 4 minutes, and I feel like he's seen 3 waves during this time.
Yeah, and again, you still have to respect the Clinks as well as the Bat Rider's initiation. So he's, again, like, he can only farm when there's 4 park behind him. And that's exactly what they're doing.
They have an Alk, great hero to catch up in the mid-game. Max Greevil's greed, not seeing creeps. They have a Darkseer, can farm really quickly, not seeing creeps. They have a lineup that could farm really well if they felt safe to, but like you said, they don't feel safe.
Yeah, again, this is one of those games where you say, hey, we're going late into the game. One side has Spectre, the other side doesn't have a great late game hero. Why isn't that team losing?
Well, they have very good late game heroes.
Bro,
maybe not quite as good as Spectre, but Gyro is legit.
But the point I'm trying to make is that Navi's using the map a lot better in their farming. And because there's so much good gankers on the Navi side, LGD is farming as a unit of 5. They're not getting as much out of the map, and they're really, really falling behind. Here comes the big smoke gank, and if they do find anybody, it's going to transition into a Rax push. Yao's got to be very careful. He's got the BKB, he's got the ghost, a ton of defensive items. Sylar, you are too far away from your team, my friend.
He'll phase back, and still Navi lurking. Surprised they didn't just jump immediately, but they want a slightly better initiation, worried about the counter from LGD. This Observer Ward spotting any movements through their own jungle. Navi leading right now, 20-15, still the score. They'll sit 4 park behind Sylar. They might do this for 30 minutes if they have the shot. But Navi says, we're going in. Funnick, he'll find Sylar. He'll focus Sylar first. He's got a BKB up. That's a lot of damage. Now the grip on Xiao. He gets caught. Laguna to the face. While that's happening, Dendy jumps in. He catches Yao. They've caught 2. They might catch 3. Yao will go Scepter and look to run. DDC comes in. That's a vac. Into an ice pad. Into a wall. Into a macro pyre. That is the perfect team fight, except there's no Spectre. There's no Alk, so it just doesn't matter. Navi, they find the initiations with the Bat Rider blink, with the Fiend's grip from Puppey, everything going according to plan, and Navi well on their way to leading this best of 5 2-0.
Yeah, and Navi just shows you this game that they're just playing better Dota. A lot of Chinese versus Chinese games, if one team groups up as 5, the other team says, man, they're 5, let's group up as 5 as well. That's not how Western teams play Dota. Say, if you group up as 5, we farm, and that's exactly what Navi did this game. And that's really the medicine to beat this kind of 5-man Chinese Dota group.
I think they've had this great combo, right? Vacuum into Ice Path, but we've only gotten to see it a few times. And when we were seeing it, they were just really far behind. I go back to some of those earlier fights where Yao wasn't at the tower when his team was taking a 4-on-5. Could have made the difference there. The rotation's a bit slow at times. Funnick might get caught, but they've already taken 1 lane of Rex. Navi looking for 2. Funnick still has BKB. He'll simply run away. Havost is just going to try and muscle everyone down. He's got a Helm of the Dominator. He brings down 1 support. He will be driven back now. They might get themselves a Havost, but still, 1 Rex has fallen. It could be more. There's your stun. Xiao 8 will at least try and turn this one around a bit. Havost low, and finally will fall. 1 lane of Rex down. One of them taking 300 damage or so. Navi looking good here.
Yeah, Spectre needs a ton of items. He needs to open them with the Vig Booster. He needs to finish hard immediately and then go into like a Manta. I just don't think he'll have the time to do it. And look at what Funnick. Bot Rex is down. He says, man, free kills everywhere.
Yeah.
Hire wives. Hire Nyx assassins.
When you're up against the Clinks, you need a Ghost Scepter on these supports to live. Yep. But no Ghost Scepter, no farm for it.
This is Funnick finding kills in the enemy base. Yeah.
Normally, this is where you'd say, well, they need a gem, they need sentry wards. They do have a gem now on DD, but
they had it in the previous team fight as well, but
the gem can't be everywhere.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
Well, now BKB on the Bane Elemental. Oh,
they actually have no way to cancel that Fiend Scrub.
Not anymore. Also, in the previous team fight,
bad. That's really bad for them.
Yao went in, and it was a perfect kind of wall vacuum combo you talked about. That wall and vacuum was delayed by Dendy's Flaming Lasso. If he dropped it out when the Spectre and the Alchemist was still alive, that would have been a better team fight.
That's the issue. Yeah, it's just now there's no way to stop that initiation. Bat Rider has a BKB too. That's double BKB, goes through BKB initiation from Navi. So even the BKB on Yao won't matter. There's really no way not to get initiated on. There's not much of a way to stay alive. And we're going to see Dendy go... was it fucking Matt who did this build?
No. Bone 7.
Oh, Bone 7 from Kaipi, that's right.
Roll the
They'll go
TI4.
full Bone 7 with Mask of Madness here. I actually love this build.
This is absolutely amazing.
Huge team fight at Roche about to break out. Roche dropping fast for Navi. BKB from Funnick. The Fiend's Grip unchecked on DDC. Low, not dead, finally will fall. Aegis claimed by Havos during this time. Funnick going back in on Yao. The call down deployed. Havos trying to duke his way out. He's got a Satanic. They've got to run. There's your Spectre Haunt from long range. Kuroki will drill him with a downtown ultimate. Now Havos might fall to Sylar. I believe he bought back for this. He will find the kill. Sylar being forced to buy back over. Very expensive. They pop an Aegis. They lose 2. And the buyback on Sylar. He needs to be fat. That ain't going to get him any fatter.
Well,
Here
they
comes
all back
Puppy.
off.
Smoked up. Not done just yet. He'll go for a sleep here on Xiaowei, but just able to Shadow Blade away in time. While that's happening, though, Dendy's burning DD to bits. He finds DD. He knows he's dead. He wants more. He'll blink in. Remember, Sylar bought back. If he dies here, that's GG. It already is GG as Xiaowei is tapped out. LGD China down 2-0. They are getting manhandled by Navi in the Alienware Cup Grand Finals.
I just want to say that at the beginning of team fight, then he wasn't even there. He was jungling.
Hulk smash.
Hulk smash indeed.
Navi, I think the key thing here is they're playing Navi Dota, right? They're playing aggressive mid-game Dota. They're forcing fights. We don't see them going for a Phantom Lancer, sitting back and farming, trying to take it late game and play passively. They take the fight to LGD, and LGD just cannot deal with their aggression.
Yeah. Have we seen Navi actually fall behind on the goal chart against any of the Asian teams?
Well, this game they didn't.
Last game they didn't, and I don't think they actually...
Obviously, they lost that one game to LGD, so I imagine they fell behind that.
No, they were actually leading in terms of goal throughout most of the game until like the very end. That's why I'm...
At the end, they were behind.
Right. They were always out farming the enemy team. It's not because Navi just constantly rice better. It's not like they push tower faster.
Yeah, they control the map, so they get to farm.
Right. That's very simple. LGD, again, and all the Chinese team needs to learn when to not group as 5. And that's...
I think they get too scared too early, and then when they do go to take fights, it's so obvious, because all the lanes are pushed. I mean, you talked about game 1, the super obvious smoke ganks from LGD China, and we kind of saw that in this game. I feel like they need to be controlling the tempo a bit better, and when you give away a Bat Rider, you don't have a strong tempo control. This is one of the reasons that Alc mid is kind of dubious to me, because sure, he doesn't die, he farms well, and late game he scales, but that's a Bat Rider mid. We saw what happened for the Bat Rider. Dendy died, he delayed his Blink Dagger, but he was all over the map, forcing fights, putting the pressure and the hurt on LGD. LGD were always reacting, and the big thing was that freed up Funnick to get a fast Orchid, to come join the fight. Sure, Havos died a few times, but I just think they need a stronger tempo controller mid. Something like a Bat Rider, hard to get, however, and in this game they gave it away.
Well, let's send it back to Bruno and LGD.
Bruno and 2GD.
2GD. There's too many GDs.
You're doing pretty poorly today, LGD.
I know. Well, I mean, I got problems at home. Got problems with my bank. I use a Visa card and it just doesn't work when I go abroad.
You should go MasterCard.
That's a good idea.
It's a good idea. Anyways, where to start, right?
Yeah, I've got mine in my head.
Okay.
In front of the audience,
I
but
do
I'm
have-
going to let you do yours first,
Okay.
because otherwise I just talk a lot of rubbish.
No, it's not rubbish.
So go on.
Do not think about that, about yourself.
I like rubbish, actually.
You do?
Yeah.
Interesting. Now I know what to give you for your
Like
birthday.
that guy from Sesame Street, you know, the
Yeah.
green one?
Yeah,
What's his
the
name?
one that lives in the trash can.
Lives in garbage.
It's,
we call garbage rubbish in England.
Yeah. Okay.
Just
Anyways, laning phase, terrible. All the matchups,
all of them.
All of
Both
them.
teams.
terrible. No, they just auto attack the creeps. They die to tower damage. They were asking where to buy wood. You know, disasters. No, but
Lighting phase terrible.
laning phase terrible. Darkseer versus Klinks is a matchup that actually favors Klinks quite a lot. Even if Darkseer decides to grip skip, the Klinks will get all the acids because of the damage of the Searing Arrow, especially if that Klinks is Funnick, which to me was the MVP this match.
I was going to say that too, MVP Funnick.
Yeah.
That's 2 games I'd give him the MVP.
Same thing here. 2 games in a row.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys.
Is he going to be the MVP of the series? That's the question.
But I
Yes,
want to
MVP
keep giving honorable mentions to
Yeah,
Havos.
let's keep going. Huh?
I want to still give honorable mentions to Havos.
I think he's worth a 5 in carry now. He's got 4 in his name, but
you know, he has his name right now is Havos 4.
Yeah, we've seen it.
He knows.
You need
You know
to.
who told him? Tusky
Yeah, I know. But I gave
He's
him
been
a
a good
9.
sport about it.
Remember the first day, I gave him a 9. and people would.
No, you didn't
You
give him a
didn't
9.
give
That
him
was
a
a
lie.
bug in the system.
Yeah, but
Don't
I
try to
said like
defend
that bug is right.
No, you didn't.
I did.
showed you the ratings.
I did.
I
was,
said, is there anything,
I
Bruno, that
defended.
you'd like to change? He made a few changes. Didn't touch a vote.
they're statesmen. Go to the
Now,
vote.
now he's trying to be the politician and back
What?
off.
I
stand
always
by it.
like.
I stand by my
votes.
rankings.
Come on.
Every team, when you say 9 row or 9 havos,
Yeah.
you don't even mean it seriously. You just joke about it.
I don't. People know I don't. I'm actually serious about the guy.
This
Like,
backpedaling from
I
Bruno.
know.
Disappointing.
come on.
I believe
I
you,
think the
Bruno.
American
Thank you,
culture of
James.
politics and fast food and
It's wearing off on Bruno.
yeah.
I don't know. Anyways,
All right, let's get
Clink-
back on track.
Klinks beats that lane. Bad Rider has a field day against Alchemist, although Alchemist shows something interesting, which is the acid spray harass. It's quite annoying to deal with. You just, I mean, when you're Bad Rider, you're not constantly dealing damage. You're just applying stacks and then you burst with the Firefly and Flame Break and everything. While as an Alchemist, all you do is just like slowly chip away the life, which is quite annoying for the Bad Rider because it zones him out as well. So eventually Dandy keeps getting a lot out of that lane regardless. And the tri-lane works pretty nice. I mean, Bane Lina is such an easy setup for whatever you want to do. And the Gyrocopter there to capitalize. Also, Gyrocopter combines very well with Bane because you sleep and then you Rocket Barrage. I don't think that LGD found answers. They played very passively, which is what
Statically.
which is what they didn't rotate. LGD is one of those things that we talked about a lot. They lose the lanes pretty often compared to other top tier teams. But the problem is that Navi ramped up the aggression so much with heroes like Bad Rider in your face, Klinks just jumping on the supports. I can't even count how many times Nyx Assassin was orchid and killed.
Yeah,
Happened every single time. They went straight for the Nyx Assassin.
9 times.
I counted 7, but I can't count more than
I think
7.
the biggest thing of this game was just they lost all 3 lanes. Like the Clinks won top lane. Dendy, obviously, sure he didn't really outfarm the Alc, but he did a lot more for
It
mid.
wasn't like hard wins. It was
The
like
tri lane, they should have won that harder than they did. I felt like LGD were kind of lucky to get the kills they did.
I think LGD did okay considering their LGD.
They did better than they should have, but
yeah.
like that draft, they should have just lost all 3 lanes.
Yeah, they
But
should've.
they have to draft better if they want to take game 3.
You have to consider the kind of the mark where it was going okay for LGD before it went sour, right? Which was basically the Darkseer was able to hold his tower and he did get good farm.
Yep.
Okay? So your top lane, that's alright. You've got your mech, you're getting decent farm, and your tower's still there even though Funnick eventually was going to be able to harass it.
Right.
It was only about 50% health. Mid lane, acid spray keeps creeps away from your lane.
Yeah.
In terms of, from your tower, sorry, and you're doing okay. Bottom lane, they actually had Sylar on about 2,000 gold towards his Radiance. And his lane, it wasn't necessarily how much farm he's get, it's like, is he going to get his item?
Right.
And you've got a Nyx Assassin and also a Jakiro, which are very good at counter-initiates. The biggest problem they had when everything went south, Dendy goes top rune, picks up an invisibility, TP's bottom, uses the invisibility, destroys the bottom lane, and gets 2 kills onto her Vost playing the Gyrocopter. Kurokai had an absolute fucking nightmare of a game. If you're going to play Alina versus a Darkseer, and I think there was, like a Nyx Assassin as well, it's just so hard to hit any stuns. I would have liked to have seen a Disruptor. So he was just like, fuck this, I'm going Aghanim sector. I don't even want to hit a stun. I'm just going to throw out
Angry ultimates to people.
Like seriously, that's what it was like, because he was very irrelevant. But it was for me, the supports weren't that relevant of Navi. It was Dendy making space.
Yeah.
It was Funnick getting farm, and then when Dendy couldn't make space, Funnick made space. So Dendy got the first rotation down. That blew Sylar's farm kind of out of the water. He wasn't able to do what he wanted. Their moment of safety, where they could have been getting progressively better, was disrupted by a Bat Rider. After the Bat Rider wasn't able to participate as much, Funnick got pretty fat. As soon as he got his BKB and Orchid done, he literally could kill any support.
Yeah.
And
And
even
also,
almost
yeah.
Sylar. Yeah, and he was just playing amazing. And if you guys, I'm sure you guys know of Funnick, but everything that we've seen of him, he is the best on Klinks.
Yes.
I've not
Yeah,
seen
that's not even a debate.
Black
Yeah.
Black plays a pretty good one.
No. I mean, Black plays a nice Klinks.
Yeah.
Funnick
but
plays a great
Funnick
Klinks.
plays it on
Funnick
a whole
plays-
nother level in
yeah.
terms of how far he's able to go and push the limits of that hero. He is so good. He picks up a kill on one, Orchid to the other, gets him on the way out as well.
It's very fluid too.
Yeah, he has no, like, he's so good on that hero. So he's definitely the MVP. But between him and Dendi, they made all the room. Havost, I don't know if you guys saw it pretty early on. I don't think you got it on stream. Picked up like 4 stacks on Ancients.
Yeah, supports were doing a good job stacking.
Yeah. And that's why I felt like Puppy and Kurokai were just there to keep things
cheer
ticking.
for the team.
Yeah, but keep things ticking, just kind of turn up. And it was pretty amazing though. And Puppy did get his BKB, which was huge in the last fight.
He just stood there.
Yeah, he did that.
Come again? How's it?
Well,
Kawa.
He has like
How is it,
8
please?
arms. Kawa's just fucking asleep.
I wanted to
Come
see
on,
it.
man.
But I really do wish that they used. I wish LGD used
Kawa's quietly
Xiaowei a
threatening
lot
to
more.
kill Lumi.
Now you're there.
Wait.
Hey.
I was
Now
gonna say-
we're-
Now
we're
you're
not-
talking
I'm talking
Jesus,
Dota.
The moment is gone.
Hashtag
no.
production value.
What?
What happens? Oh,
So
that.
when
Oh.
Bane ults, now it's okay, like this, right? Except he has like 8 arms, right? That guy has
Yeah,
like
they're all waggling around.
oh,
him.
it comes on the ground,
Yeah.
like tentacles.
He's got like tentacles.
You like that,
inside.
don't you, Lumi?
You like those tentacles,
We'll
don't
leave
you?
it at that.
Tidehunter player Lumi.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think they should have stacked something for the Alchemist, even if it was just some of the camps on the safe lane when Sylar had it easy, and actually got the Alchemist an earlier Shadowblade and had him in join team fights earlier, a similar time to when the Bat Rider, so counter gang can actually be.
See, that's the problem though. When they pick the Alk, it's still Xiaowei playing it, and that's just not the way Xiaowei plays. Xiaowei wants to join the fights constantly. His Shadowblade was very late, and it's not a hero that fits him. If they want to put him mid, they need to put him on. I mean, I would say Magnus's RPs aren't the best, but that hero still fills that role well. A Beastmaster, a Bat Rider. You can't put him on an Alchemist mid unless he's going to change his style, and it seems like he's just not going to at this point. So,
but they
I just don't like the drafts for their team that much.
Yeah, they needed that Alchemist mid game. I mean, you can pull in the Darkseer, but there's no guarantee how the team fights are going to go just because it's unreliable in terms of stuns. You really need everything else to kind of connect. But that Alk was so important mid-game, and just having a later Shadowblade and not being able to make something happen, that was huge and just gave Na'Vi the map.
And that's, I think, one of the perfect examples where tri-core lane sometimes doesn't work. When you get too greedy and you... Because when you get so many cores, you say, well, if I don't get farm on A, I will get it on B. If I don't get farm on B, I will get it on C. Which is perfect, is the enemies playing towards your advantages, which is they let you farm, they do not put pressure on you. They will just go for roaming and gank. They can kill the guy in the mid lane, and they free up the top lane or the bottom lane for the other guy to farm. But when they start pushing together and fighting as 5, you will have to group up as 5. When you're playing with all your cores together, the experience and the goal that they get, they're sharing against each other. So you can leave one aside, like they did with Spectre for some time, but you're fighting 5v4. And 2 of those guys that are fighting in your 4 are not entirely strong enough because they want to farm, they don't want to fight right now. So then the NAVI, well, Dendi is part of NAVI, doing the perfect thing against this kind of lineup, which is putting the ball into them, and something that LGD China has struggled against in the past. Orange did the same in the first part of the playoffs. NAVI did the same in that first game of the semifinals of the upper bracket, and they're doing it again. And LGD China have to, I don't know, it feels very cliche, but I think they have to go for kind of a pocket strategy right now, because
I think it's really the drafts.
I think they're out of ideas at the moment.
Because you look at the way that draft developed, they started with a Bat Rider first pick. I thought it would be Funix Bat Rider. You thought it would be Funix Bat Rider. We talked about barely ever seeing Dendi play the hero because he barely ever plays the hero. It usually is Funix. They bust out the Clinks last.
They barely even get the hero.
They caught LGD completely by surprise with that, and that's what I mean when I say I think Navi's just drafting better. Not only were their lanes stronger, but they're catching LGD off guard. Like you said, Bruno, maybe a pocket strategy. If it's not going to be a pocket strat, it's at least got to be something that they don't normally do. Because Navi just has them figured out with these drafts. And
doesn't have to be a crazy hero.
Doesn't have to be a space
an
cow.
interdimensional space cow would be nice. But it doesn't have to necessarily be a new hero. It can be just a smart rotation of the lanes. You know? Which is something that...
No, forget that. I'm calling out, they need to go push.
5-man?
Not 5-man.
Cheese
But
push.
like
Cheese
push
push?
every lane, split push hard, because they are... No Chinese team has ever let go in the first 20 minutes. I'm just making up stats. K-Poptosis, go check it out. By the way, shout out to K-Poptosis for being invited to do stats over TI3. But somebody look up the stats. Has Navi in this tournament actually fell behind gold in the first 20, 30 minute of the game?
Well, there was the group stages.
Well, forget that.
Just the playoff.
Just a playoff. I don't think they have.
Probably
Maybe 1 or 2 game, but they are leading so much and they just don't give up a lead. So if you're LG China, you push hard, balls to the wall, balls to the towers walls. Let's go. Make something happen.
Balls to the wall it is. Guys, any closing words?
No, I'm okay. I'm going to You want to go to break?
I'm going to get a glass of water real quick and prepare Lumi for his wrapping session. Because after this Game 3, this series might be over. Thank you all for joining us. It's the Alienware Cup Grand Finals one more time. If you haven't already done so, check out Facebook, twitter.com/AlienwareCup. You can also visit the website, alienwarecup.com. There is probably going to be a compendium giveaway, DPM. More details for that are on Twitter. Is that correct? On Facebook. Facebook.com/AlienwareCup. There will be International 3 compendiums available as giveaways. She's actually spent a lot of money on those. 100 compendiums. That's right. A lot to give away. Head over to Facebook.com/AlienwareCup. You can find out more about the giveaway. But stay tuned. We'll be right back with Game 3. It could be our last game, so you won't want to miss it. It's going to be LGD China versus NAVI. The players ready in the lobby. We should be starting in just a few minutes. Stay with us.